My name is Ethan Miller, and the day my dad died was the day my world split into two, before Rebecca and after Rebecca. Dad married Rebecca 3 years after Mom passed away. I wanted to support him, I truly did. Grief is a lonely beast, but Rebecca came into our lives like a storm, pretending to be sunshine. The kind of person who hugged too tight, smiled too wide, and watched everything with calculating eyes. Still, Dad loved her, and I loved him. But nothing prepared me for what happened after he died. The day everything changed. Dad passed away suddenly, a heart attack. I got the call at 6:17 a.m. I remember staring at my phone, the world around me shrinking to a pinpoint. "Ethan," the doctor said softly, "I'm sorry, we did everything we could." I don't remember the rest of the conversation. I don't remember driving to the hospital. I only remember seeing my dad, peaceful yet lifeless. And standing beside him was Rebecca. Her eyes were dry, her hands folded neatly, her face calm. When she noticed me, she gave me this thin smile. "We'll get through this," she whispered, like a rehearsed line. But something in her voice felt wrong. Like she wasn't comforting me. She was warning me. 2 days after the funeral, something unexpected happened. Rebecca changed the locks to the house. I came home from work to find my key no longer fit. My own father's house, the house I grew up in, the house where Mom planted roses by the window and Dad built me a treehouse. Inside, I could hear movement, her footsteps. I knocked. She opened the door only halfway. "Rebecca, what's going on?" "Oh, Ethan," she said sweetly, "I forgot to inform you. I'm reorganizing things. This house is my responsibility now. I hope you understand." "Reorganizing? You changed the locks." She shrugged lightly. "I have to protect the property. It's what your father would want." Every word was like a needle. I stepped closer. "Let me in." She raised a brow. "Actually, it's best if you give me some space. I need to grieve. Alone." "You're kidding, right?" "Not at all." She closed the door slowly, her eyes never leaving mine. The lock clicked. That sharp, metallic sound felt louder than the funeral bells. 2 weeks later, I received a call from my dad's lawyer, Mr. Harrison, asking me to come for the reading of Dad's will. When I arrived, Rebecca was already there, wearing expensive sunglasses and a black dress like she was auditioning for Widow of the Year. She even brought a designer handbag she never used when Dad was alive. Mr. Harrison greeted us and took out a thick folder. As per Mr. Thomas Miller's instructions, I am required to read his will aloud. I sat up straight. Finally, some clarity. Finally, maybe I could understand what Dad wanted. He read through the legal formalities until he reached the inheritance section. And then the bomb dropped. "To my beloved wife, Rebecca Miller, I leave the entirety of my estate." I froze. My mouth went dry. My heartbeat crashed in my ears. "What?" "Additionally," Harrison continued slowly, "I intentionally leave no property, assets, or financial inheritance to my son, Ethan Miller." The paper shook in his hands. Rebecca didn't even try to hide her smirk. I felt the room tilt. My father? My own father? Cut me out of his will? This had to be wrong. Dad wasn't perfect, but he wasn't cruel. Rebecca placed her hand on her chest dramatically. "Oh, Thomas, he told me he wanted me to have everything. He was afraid Ethan would waste it." I stared at her. She was performing. Harrison cleared his throat awkwardly and closed the folder. "That is the official will." I stood up slowly. "So that's it? My dad just erased me from his life?" Rebecca responded before the lawyer could. "You're young, Ethan. You'll be fine. Your father knew I would take care of everything." I clenched my fists. I wanted to scream, but something inside me whispered, "Don't. Not yet." Because the lawyer's expression told me something wasn't right. As Rebecca walked out proudly, Harrison suddenly called after her. "Rebecca, you'll need to wait in the lobby for a moment. Just standard paperwork." She frowned. "I thought we were done." "It will just take a minute." Reluctantly, she left the room, Soon as the door closed, Harrison leaned forward, his voice lowering. Ethan, listen to me, carefully. My heart pounded. What is it? There is something your father left for you. I felt a spark of hope. But the will? That will, he interrupted, is not the full story. My pulse quickened. What do you mean? He opened a drawer and took out a sealed envelope. Thick, old, with Dad's handwriting. My chest tightened. This was delivered to me 3 months before your father died, Harrison said. He gave explicit instructions. He looked directly into my eyes. To give it to you only after the official will was read. I swallowed hard. My throat felt tight. Why didn't you mention this earlier? Your father insisted this stay secret until after Rebecca heard the will. He said it was necessary. I reached for the envelope with trembling hands. Dad's handwriting stared back at me. For Ethan, read when the time is right. My palms sweated. What's inside? I whispered. Harrison shook his head. I have no idea. He sealed it himself and instructed me to tell you only one thing. He paused. Trust no one until you read this. A chill ran down my spine. Rebecca had said the will meeting was the end. But this was only the beginning. The letter begins. I tore open the envelope. Inside was a thick, folded letter, at least 4 pages. The first line alone made my stomach drop. Ethan, if you are reading this, then the people who wanted my silence have finally won. I read it again. People. Plural. My hands shook uncontrollably. I looked at Harrison. Do you know what this means? He frowned. Only you can answer that. I took a deep breath and began reading the next lines. I didn't remove you from my will by choice, and Rebecca is not who you think she is. My blood ran cold. Before I could finish reading, suddenly the office door swung open. Rebecca stormed in, her face twisted with anger. What's taking so long? She snapped. I thought this was just paperwork. Her eyes darted to the envelope in my hand. Her expression changed instantly. What is that? She demanded. I hid the letter under my arm instinctively. Harrison stood up. Rebecca, this is private. No, she snapped. Anything involving Thomas belongs to me now. I'm his wife. My heartbeat thundered. Something was very, very wrong. She stepped closer, her voice lowering into something cold and threatening. Give me that letter. I took a step back. No. Her face twisted into a look I'd never seen before. You don't know what you're doing. But her reaction told me exactly what I needed to know. She already knew the letter existed, and she was terrified of it. The escape. Harrison stood between us. Rebecca, you need to leave. Now. She glared at him. You're making a very big mistake, Charles. He didn't flinch. Get out. After a moment, she turned sharply and left the room, slamming the door behind her. I exhaled, shaking. Harrison placed a hand on my shoulder. Ethan, take that letter. Read it somewhere safe. I repeated. Safe? He nodded slowly. You're not dealing with an ordinary woman. I swallowed hard. I had no idea how right he was. Driving away, I left the law office with the letter pressed tightly against my chest. My father hadn't abandoned me. He hadn't betrayed me. He had been trying to warn me. As I started my car, my hands trembled. Before I could pull out, I glanced into the rearview mirror. Rebecca's car was parked across the street. Engine running, headlights on, a silhouette gripping the steering wheel. Watching me. She knew the letter had the truth, and she wasn't going to let me read it. I drove away fast.
My father's letter was burning in my lap, heavy with secrets I hadn't yet read. I needed a safe place. My apartment? Too obvious. A friend's house? She might know them. Then I remembered the one place she'd never think of. Dad's old cabin by Lake Sheridan. A small, isolated wooden cabin where Dad took me fishing every summer. Rebecca, hated the place. She said it smelled like dead trees and mosquitoes. I took a sharp turn and sped through the back roads toward the forest highway. Rebecca's headlights appeared in my mirror again, slicing through the dusk. For the first time in days, fear turned into anger. What are you hiding, Rebecca? And what did you do to my father? By the time I reached the cabin, night had fallen. Crickets chirped, the wind rustled through the pine trees. No other cars in sight. I parked behind the cabin so my car wouldn't be visible from the road. Inside, the air smelled of old wood and memories. Dad's fishing coat still hung on the hook. The old metal kettle sat on the stove. A photo of me and Dad catching our first trout still lay on the shelf. It felt like he was there. I sat at the table, breath shaking, and unfolded the letter. 4 pages. My dad's handwriting. And then I read the words that changed everything. My son, Ethan, if you're reading this, it means I failed to stop something I feared for months. I froze. Failed? He needs you to know first. I love you. I never cut you out of my real will. The document Rebecca has is not the will I wrote. My heart hammered. A fake will? He signed a will leaving everything to you. A week later, he discovered Rebecca had created another version, one he never signed. She replaced my original documents while I was recovering from surgery. My hands trembled. Rebecca forged the will. When I confronted her, she denied everything. That same week, I noticed my medication tasted different. My energy dropped. My heart began racing. Something was wrong. I felt a cold sweat roll down my neck. Dad had been sick because of her. She'd been controlling him. He started keeping notes. Dates, symptoms, missing pills. He hid them in a safe place only you would understand. A safe place? Where? Then the next line made my blood freeze. Son, she didn't marry me for love. She married me because she believed I was worth more dead than alive. No. No! She has debts. People she owes. Dangerous people. My head spun. Rebecca wasn't just manipulative. She was dangerous. I couldn't leave her immediately. I needed proof. That's why I created this letter and the real will. Both are hidden in the same place. I leaned closer. The cabin. Look under the floorboard beneath the photo of your mother. My eyes widened. That photo was here. The letter continued. Ethan, you must protect yourself. Rebecca will fight. She will lie. She may even try to hurt you. But truth is on your side. Then the final line. And remember, the person who helped her wasn't a stranger. It was someone I trusted. Someone he trusted? Who? The letter ended there, but the chill in my bones didn't. I rushed to the shelf and lifted the framed photo of Mom. Behind it was the old wooden floorboard Dad once told me he never liked. I pried it open with a knife. A metal lockbox, a USB drive, a folded legal document, a small notebook. I grabbed all of it and placed it on the table, hands shaking. Before I could even open the lockbox, a loud crack echoed outside. A car door. Footsteps. No! She found me. The cabin door rattled violently. Rebecca's voice furious and sharp. Open this door right now! My breath caught. How did she find me so fast? I grabbed the evidence and shoved it into my backpack. The doorknob twisted hard. Open it or you swear you'll regret it. I held my breath. The door burst open. Rebecca stormed inside, hair wild, eyes burning. She wasn't pretending anymore. She wasn't acting like a grieving widow. She looked like a cornered predator. "What did you read?" she hissed. Her eyes scanned the table. She saw the open floorboard. "No, no!" Her voice cracked. "You found it!" I stepped back. "Dad knew what you did," I said quietly. "He knew everything." Her face twisted with rage. "He ruined me. He promised me security. He promised me money. I deserved that life." Deserve or deserve? I clenched my fists. "You killed him," I whispered. She didn't deny it. Instead, she lunged. Rebecca grabbed a glass candle holder and swung it wildly. I ducked and it shattered against the wall. She screamed like an animal. "You should have stayed out of this!" I backed toward the door, heart slamming. She reached into her purse, and my blood froze. A small syringe filled with something clear. This is what he was taking. Just enough to weaken him, not enough to kill. But I guess, she grinned, his heart couldn't keep up. She stepped closer, needle raised. "You'll fall asleep, Ethan, just like he did." My breath stopped. She moved fast, but I moved faster. I grabbed the nearest thing, Dad's old fishing lamp, and swung it. It hit her shoulder. She screamed and dropped the syringe. The escape and the police. I bolted to my car, backpack tight against my chest. Behind me, Rebecca stumbled out of the cabin, yelling, limping, hair in her face. "You won't win, Ethan. No one will believe you." But Dad left me proof. More than enough. I drove straight to the sheriff's station, heart pounding, tears burning my eyes. When I rushed inside, the officers froze at my appearance. "She tried to attack me. I have proof she tampered with my father's medication. She forged his will. Please, please help." The sheriff, a tall older man named Collins, took the backpack and opened the lockbox. Inside were Dad's original signed will, medical reports, photos of pill bottles, a journal detailing dates, symptoms, suspicions, and a recording device with audio files. Collins listened to the first recording. Dad's voice filled the room. "If anything happens to me, Rebecca is responsible." Silence. Dead, heavy silence. The sheriff stood up slowly. "Son, this is murder evidence." Police went to arrest Rebecca that night, but she was already gone. The cabin was empty, her car abandoned, no sign of her. For days, she disappeared. Then one morning, the sheriff called me. "She turned herself in." "What? Why?" Colin sighed. "She said she had no choice. You found the truth, and the people she owed money to were coming for her." Rebecca begged to stay in police custody for her own safety. The same woman that tore my life apart now begged to be protected. The final courtroom scene. 3 weeks later, the courtroom was packed. Rebecca sat handcuffed, no makeup, no designer clothes, just a blue jumpsuit and hollow eyes. The prosecutor laid out everything. Forged will, medication tampering, debt, motive, manipulation, attempted assault, audio recordings, Dad's real will. Rebecca broke down crying. "I never meant to kill him. I just needed him weak. I needed him to rely on me. I needed time." Time for what? To steal? To control? The judge didn't care. She was sentenced to 28 years in prison. A week later, Harrison invited me back to his office. This time, the room felt lighter. He handed me Dad's original will. "To my son, Ethan Miller, I leave everything I have. The house, the land, the businesses, the accounts, every single thing I built. You are the only one I trust to carry my name with honor." My throat closed. Tears burned my eyes. Dad never abandoned me, not for a second. Rebecca tried to erase me, but Dad made sure she couldn't. The final letter. Harrison then handed me one last envelope.
also handwritten. I opened it slowly. Ethan, if you're reading this, I am gone. But listen to me. You were always the best thing I ever created. Not the company, not the money, you. Tears rolled down my cheeks. Do not let the darkness of others dim the light you have. Stand tall, live well, and forgive not because they deserve it, but because